Hey guys, I just thought I would share with you today what's going on in the greenhouse, specifically when it comes to the crops I've planted for the fall garden. This is my fourth winter with this greenhouse, and it's the first one I've really leaned into the fall garden inside the greenhouse when the night started dipping into the freezing temperatures in the 20s. And I'll tell you, I have learned quite a few things that I didn't know before. So come on in with me and I'll show you what I've got going on in the greenhouse, what's going great, what didn't go as well, and what I've learned, especially when it comes to extending my season. Come on in. First, I'll give you a little bit of an overview of what the greenhouse looks like right now. And then I'll go and share with you the specifics here. So that's what it looks like. The first thing you see here is my planter. This is something that I got a few years ago. It's plastic. It's supposed to be self-watering. It's got a little reservoir at the bottom. Not sure how great it works at that, but I really like using it, especially for greens. Now, these greens that I had last year lasted throughout the winter. We had one really cold snap that I ended up covering, plus having an indoor heater in here, but the power went out, so that wasn't worth it. So anyway, I did cover when we got down to about 8 degrees Fahrenheit. But overall right here, this is where I have greens that are gonna be growing from the fall all the way, hopefully, until the springtime. This is a variety of lettuce called Tango. I found that it's been very winter hardy. I've got red salad bowl here in winter density. And then sprinkled here, I've got arugula that I direct sowed. It looks like some greens mixes as well. And then these are just succession plantings. I think all of these are winter density. These were smaller lettuce plants that I planted a little bit later so that I could have a good succession going. And then the same thing here, I've got some greens that are just coming up. They're a little bit younger. Now I'll share with you a little bit more in a minute why I have onions here, because this is a brand new experiment I'm trying this year, but I did interplant some onions here. These greens are growing really well. I haven't had to harvest off of them yet. My goal is for these to be the ones that I'm going to be eating off of more so in January and February. But for now, they're growing really well and I'm really pleased with this space. Moving over here, I've got my grow bag potatoes. You may recall that I planted these, oh man, I think it was early August. And they have grown really well. They are actually starting to kind of die back a little bit, which means that they're almost ready to harvest. I planted them in grow bags because I wanted to be able to bring them in, which I'm so glad that I did that, because we got our first freeze on October 31st, which is right around our average last frost date, but it got down to 24. They would not have survived out in the open, even covered. In fact, I had some that didn't make it, even though they were covered. But I had the heater on in here and they've been able to survive. We went almost a whole month without more freezing temperatures, but I've kept the heater on in here just to make it where it wasn't close to like in the 30s, and they've done really well. Now, the problem that I had this year with these grow bag potatoes is the ants started eating them. I've never had ants eat my plants in 10 years, but when I brought these potatoes into the greenhouse, I don't know if they're carpenter ants, they weren't fire ants, but they just started devouring. In fact, there's not a potato plant here because it completely chewed through this stem and this potato died. I haven't harvested it yet because I don't need potatoes yet. I'm planning on kind of harvesting all these at the same time. But I ended up putting a bait out that someone on Instagram suggested. It was half borax, half sugar, and then I ended up adding some water, and there's a whole bunch of dead ants in here. I'll spare you looking at that. But that has definitely helped. There's still some activity going on here, but not nearly as bad as before. So thankfully I've been able to save the other plants. But for the most part, I'm really excited about this harvest. I'm excited about actually seeing how many potatoes I was able to get, because I've been able to extend this season, especially for the longer season potatoes. And I'll definitely be sharing that with you when I do that. But so far I still have them doing as much photosynthesis as they can, hopefully getting some more tubers developed. But this has been, to me, a win, depending on what the harvest ends up being. But this will probably be the way that I end up growing fall potatoes in the future, because it definitely has saved them from those early freezes. So moving back here, I ended up bringing my Greenstock planters inside, actually all but one. One is still outside. It's got arugula and spinach in it, so it's been fine in the cold weather. But these I brought in, I ended up planting some cilantro, which is what I've got up here. Cilantro loves cold weather, and it sprouted really fast, I think because the soil was still pretty warm, but I feel like this is going to be a great cilantro harvest. And then I've got some mixed greens here that have grown really well. One thing that I've noticed this year, and this is the thing that I feel like has been my big aha moment with my fall garden in the greenhouse, is we have not had that many freezing temperatures. And right now I'm at the end of November. So from October 31st through the end of November, we've only had a handful of nights where we've been below freezing. And all of these crops would do fine in freezing temperatures with the exception of the potatoes. But even if the temperatures were still in the upper 30s or even in the 40s, I had my heater on either low or high depending on how cold it got. And I feel like keeping the temperature at night warmer has really helped these crops. Before, I would just be like, oh, they're fine in freezing temperatures because they're winter crops and they can take a freeze. But I can tell a difference in the amount of growth that I've seen on all of my crops that are especially leafy when I've been able to raise the temperature. The heater ends up raising the temperature by about 10 degrees. So if we were 34, it was probably like 44 or 45 depending on the day. And I feel like this has made a big difference in the health of these crops. So this has been a big win, and I'm hoping that as I continue to use the heater through the winter, I can continue to get more and more harvest out of the green stalks. I've got some strawberries here the same way. I have some strawberries in another green stalk I'll get ready to show you. They're producing and it's still November, which has been really shocking to me. This is another potato plant. This is the only one left from the Greenstock potatoes that I grew. I think what I did wrong with the Greenstock potatoes in the fall is the Greenstock was in a location where it got too much shade. And so I think that's why they weren't as healthy as the ones in the grow bag, which had full sun, and this one ended up having a lot more sun. So this one I haven't harvested yet. But I brought the green stalks in so that hopefully I could be able to extend, and what I found is that the crops in there were growing even better. Now, one thing that I'm doing that's an experiment is I'm experimenting with planting onions in the fall. Now, with the new USDA map, I'm now zone 8A, but I always knew I was on the border to maybe be able to plant some onions in the fall because a lot of southern growers do that. But they specifically plant short day onions. I'm kind of on the border between short day and intermediate day, so I can kind of plant both. But when I plant short day onions in the spring, a lot of times they have a tendency to bolt faster than the intermediate day. But what I decided that I wanted to do is try planting some short day onions and plant them in the fall. So I've got an experiment going here. I've got onions here in one tier of a green stalk. And then I've also got some in a grow bag back here, and all of these are going to stay in the greenhouse and we'll see how they end up growing. But I also planted a row in a raised bed outside that stays covered in really cold nights. And I planted a row in a part of my garden that doesn't get covered. So I'm going to be doing a test to see how these short day onions do. Will they end up giving me an earlier harvest as they bulb up maybe a little bit sooner? Will the ones in the greenhouse do better than the ones out in the garden? I'm always wanting to test different things, but my hope and my plan is that I can get these short day onions to bulb up a lot faster and get an early harvest of onions. Usually I'm harvesting onions in June, but if these can get a head start and grow faster, maybe I can get them a month or two ahead of time. That would be really nice if I could do that. And then in the future, if that would work, it would be nice to be able to do succession plantings of onions, do some in the fall, and then like I've done before, do intermediate and even some long day that can kind of border on the intermediate area, do those later to have a longer harvest of onions. That would make it where I wouldn't have to depend so much on long storage life or preserving, but I could do more of a succession planting. That's the goal with these onions. We'll see how that works, and I'll definitely update you on that. The final thing is the last green stalk right over here. In this green stalk, I mainly have greens on this first tier. I've got arugula here, and I think I've got arugula in the second tier too. And then I've got some mixed greens here. And this was a strawberry I was telling you about. I've got a strawberry, and it's the end of November as I'm recording this. That's really cool. And then below that is parsley, and then I've got marjoram on this fourth tier, and I've got oregano at the bottom, which I'll probably have to transplant. I found that oregano will only usually do well 1 year in the green stalk before the roots get too big and then I have to transplant them. But this has been going really well. One thing I have noticed with this arugula is I've had some aphids in here. So I'm guessing I'm learning what it means for some of the pests, especially in the cold weather, to find some kind of a shelter in the greenhouse. I haven't really messed too much with the aphids so far. I mainly just spray them off with water when I'm getting ready to eat whatever I'm picking, but that has definitely been a little bit of a hiccup that I hadn't expected between the aphids and the ants. I've also seen some whiteflies in here on the potatoes, so all that's a little bit new for me as well. The biggest challenge I'd say in having all of these crops in the greenhouse has been keeping it watered because I don't have my automatic irrigation. We have disconnected all of the hoses from the house to prevent, damage with all the freezing weather. So I've had to manually water this, and I think a lot of these plants have not been getting enough water just because I haven't been great at that. I haven't really thought about it as much, and during the day this greenhouse gets really warm, so they really do need more water than I've been able to give them. So that's something that I definitely need to get better at. But overall, I am super pleased with how these plants are growing in the greenhouse. I feel like I've been able to extend my season even more and be able to harvest fresh food for longer. Again, this is the fourth winter that I've been able to use the greenhouse, and I'm just now being able to see what more and more that it can do. But I've been really happy with that, along with using the covers in my garden to be able to extend my season for longer. So if you have any tips, if you've grown in a greenhouse, if you have any questions for me, be sure to put them in the comments. And hopefully this inspires you to see how you can push some boundaries and be able to harvest more food for longer in your garden. For more as we head into 2024, make sure and like and subscribe. And if you're a podcast listener, be sure to listen to my podcast, The Beginner's Garden Podcast. We've got some fantastic episodes coming up new in 2024 that you will not want to miss.